This is a tower, a pretty long Roblox lobby with no checkpoint, meaning the only way to save yourself from falling is by catching yourself on a previous obstacle. And this is Eternal Towers of Hell. A game can take over 400 of these towers. And with it being a Roblox game based on obbying, it has a ton of badges, including a couple for completing a certain number of towers. So I decided that over the next week, I will try to beat 100 towers, starting from 0. If only I knew how this challenge would turn out to be. So let's start with Day 1! So I made a new account, customized my avatar a bit, and then joined the game, where I was instantly put into the first area, Ring 0. There, I went to the first tower, the Tower of Genesis. The easiest tower in the entire game. And since it's quite literally the tutorial tower, and since I do have some experience in this game, I was able to easily beat this one, the first out of 100. I then followed it up with the Tower of Motion Evolution and the Tower of Buttons, since these are also really easy, also being kinda like tutorial towers. But that also means that now I have 3 towers beaten, meaning that I've unlocked the first ring and zone. This whole unlocking areas thing will be important soon, but right now there's still an easy tower left in Ring 0. The Tower of Critical Damage. So I quickly beat it and then went to Ring 1, where I completed the 2 easy towers there. The Tower of a Simply Time and the Tower of Anger. And after that I went to Zone 1 and quickly completed the 2 easy towers there. The Tower of Peace, Happiness and Tranquility and the Tower of Zero Disturbances. And in that moment I thought to myself that this challenge would genuinely be easy as hell. Like, I've already completed the first 8 out of 100 towers, and it took me barely an hour and a half. That's so little time for such a huge portion. Like, I'll definitely be able to beat this challenge without even trying. But then I realized that there aren't any easy towers left in the areas that I'm able to access. Except that there is. You see, most areas have so-called sub-areas, which just feature even more towers, and with both Ring 1 and Zone 1 having sub-areas, the Forgotten Ridge and the Steelspire Horizon respectively, I had a few more easy towers to chew through. Starting with the Forgotten Ridge, where I quickly beat the Steeple of Meaningless Decisions and the Tower of Jolly Good Fun. Also, yes, I will be counting steeples because they do count for the badge. And I then went to the Steelspire Horizon, where I then beat the Steeple of Zip Zap Pop and the Steeple of Golf Course. And that meant that I had now completed every single easy tower currently available for me in just 2.5 hours, since the rest of easy towers are located in higher areas. These higher areas always have 2 factors that you have to meet in order to unlock them. First of all, having at least a certain number of towers beaten, which won't really be a problem in this challenge. And secondly, a certain number of towers of a certain difficulty completed. And for the second ring and zone, you have to have 6 or 7 towers beaten respectively, and at least 1 tower that's medium difficulty or higher. And since I had no other choice, I beat my first medium tower, the Tower of Boost Mayhem in Ring 0, which made me pass the requirements for both Ring and Zone 2. But we can ignore Zone 2 for now, since both it itself and its sub-area doesn't have a single easy tower. So I went to Ring 2, which in of itself also doesn't have an easy tower, but its sub-area, the Garden of Eskel, does have 2. The Steeple of Beginner's Journey and the Steeple of Devil's Snare, which I both beat like really quickly, like both taking me just 3.5 minutes to beat. And after both of those were done, I had yet again completed every single easy tower currently available for me. So the next goal would be for me to unlock the first ring and zone, both requiring at least a hard tower to be beaten. So with that goal in mind, I went to Zone 1 in order to beat the Tower of Atlantic Depths. A goddamn medium tower! I genuinely do not know why I decided to beat that tower, like there was no incentive at all, plus it was also annoying as shit with its bubble column mechanic. But after that unnecessary experience, I went to Ring 0 in order to beat my first hard tower, the Tower of Keys to Success, and it was going pretty well until Nah. Oh my god. Is my internet gone? My internet is fully gone. No. Yeah, my parents were doing something in the living room and they had to unplug the router, I guess. And that meant that I wasn't able to play for about 45 minutes. So now it's almost 2 PM and I'm back at it. And about halfway through the tower, my dad comes in and says that the internet is gonna be gone again in 5 minutes. And with the length of this tower, I'm obviously not able to finish it. So another half an hour later, I'm finally able to finish this tower without the internet being shut down again. And that means that I finally also unlocked both Ring and Zone 3. And with it now being unlocked, I went to Ring 3 first in order to beat its easy tower, the Tower of Funny Thought. And then I quickly went to Zone 3 in order to complete one of its easy towers, the Tower of 6 Feet Under. And you might wonder why I've only completed that one and not the other one in Zone 3. Well, I was hungry since I literally haven't eaten at all that day, so I decided to go and eat. And then decided to watch the entirety of Destroying a World That Doesn't Exist by Weefies in one sitting. And yes, that might have been 2 hours that I wasn't playing, but look, alright, the video literally dropped the day I started this challenge, and already had like 1 million views after just 6 hours. And it's not like a mere 2 hours would matter. Like, have you seen how fast I've been progressing? Like, there's no way it'll affect me in the future, right? So when I came back at around 7 PM, since my internet was out for a bit, I instantly went back to the third zone in order to complete its other easy tower, the Tower of Overestimating Difficulty, which I quickly did. And that meant the only easy tower left was in the third zone sub-area, Paradise Atoll, where I beat the steeple of Mystical Marine. And that means that the only 2 easy towers left now are in both Ring and Zone 4 respectively. And their minimum difficulties to unlock would take a bit longer. It requires at least 3 hard towers and at least 1 difficult tower to unlock. But what does it matter? I can unlock those areas later anyways, so I decided to rattle down a couple of medium towers instead. Those being Zone 3's Tower of Broken Bricks, Ring 3's Tower of Inverted Colors, and Ring 1's Tower of Madness. And this means that I only have 1 more tower to beat until I'm a quarter done with this challenge, and the first day isn't even done! This cannot be this easy! It cannot be this... Oh no, there's more, isn't there? You see, towers 25, 50, 75 and 100 are specialized towers that I've selected beforehand, with tower 25 being the Citadel of Laptop Splitting, a tower I've already made a video about, where it took me 3 goddamn weeks to beat. So I went into this run hoping that I'd at least get a nice run today. And it looked pretty promising. I even got to the floor 9 safety net pretty easily. And that was when I realized that every pot that previously gave me problems, I was easily able to beat. Like the purple timed part on floor 10, which I easily did first try this time, even if it took me about 15 minutes in my other attempts at this tower. But then I fought back and realized that those other attempts were like 3 to 4 months ago. And since I haven't really stopped playing in that time, I've just been getting better. And just like that, I've easily made it through floor 12 and I'm now approaching the balloon at floor 14. Just that I've heard a bit about a certain skip recently, since it was literally one of the most commented things on my Coles video. So when I get to the balloon, I look up a quick tutorial and try it out. And this route is just way easier than the normal one, since you instantly land on the part of floor 15 which has a safety net under it, which was really nice, since it skips the part I've struggled with the most during my initial Coles run. And from there I quickly made it to floor 16, the second to last floor, and I was pretty far in it until this happened. Nice. What the hell just happened? What the hell just happened? What? Holy shit, bro, Zeus, what the hell did I do to you, man? But I was simply too far in this to just stop, so I just kept going until I reached the end of floor 16. I just simply have to Are you kidding me? Well, at least I was able to catch myself on the spinner below. You know, always have to see the positive things in life. Yeah. And since I did, I was able to get back up there pretty easily. And since it isn't really that difficult for me, and I just got really unlucky those 2 attempts, I got past floor 16 to floor 17, the final floor. But it's not as scary as it sounds, since I've literally beaten it before now. It shouldn't be that difficult. And even if I did fail this first part of the floor a few times, it wasn't that deep, since I literally always caught myself around the end of floor 16 anyways. But finally, I made it to the last part of the tower. If I fail here, then I'll be sent back to the end of floor 14. But I've done this before, meaning that it wasn't as stressful as in my first couple of runs, and I was then able to get here. Yes! Tower number 25, let's go! And after this, it was pretty late, so I decided to let day 1 off on a really good ending. But you know what would be an even better ending? If you subscribe to the channel! You see, right now only about 4% of you guys are subscribed, so yeah. And also I'm pretty close to 1,000 subscribers, so subscribe to me, I guess, if you want me to be able to get money from this. Money. But now, let's move on to day 2. But first, let me elaborate a bit on the rules. You might have noticed that I was hard focusing on just completing easy towers, even if I could have just played medium or hard towers and still easily be able to beat them. Well, you see, another rule in this challenge is that every time I beat one of those special towers, the minimum difficulty rises by 1, meaning that from now on out, since I've completed my first special tower, I can only play towers that are medium and up. And since I knew that it happened, I focused on the easy towers in order to leave as many mediums as possible for now. But now back to day 2. I started at 11 AM in ring 0, beating its medium towers, the tower of various pressures and the tower of no strings attached and the tower of various Why did I write it down twice? Which I made sure to beat in under 18 minutes, since it was still March at this point. Barely though. Which meant that I'd get 6 extra tickets, which might not sound like a lot, but anything can help. That's because getting the heavily desired item before tower 50 would be pretty nice, since it's a healing item and would help a ton on it. But that might not happen because, as you'd expect, mediums don't really reward that many tickets when you beat them, giving just 5, while the rock costs 375. But it isn't that important. The tower is still possible without a healing item, it's just a little more convenient with one. Anyways, back to me rolling through medium towers, where I went to ring 2 sub-area, the Garden of Eskel, to complete its 3 medium steeples. The steeple of infectious foliage, the steeple of overgrowth and the steeple of nightfall. After that I went to zone 2 sub-area, the arcane area, which was pretty cool since I haven't actually been to it before. In it I tried to complete the steeple of biome traversing, where I got stuck in this spot for a while because I didn't realize that you could hit this jump. But after I realized, I beat it pretty quickly, and I also pretty quickly beat the other medium steeple in the area, the steeple of astounding sorcery. And that just continued on, with me beating the Tower of Noticeable Infuriation in Ring 1, the Steeple of Little Woe and the Steeple of Pursuit in Ring 1 sub-area, and then also the Tower of Phone Snapping in Ring 2. After beating the Tower of Phone Snapping though, I had to go for a bit, and I got back at 5:30 PM. That's another 4 hours of lost time, but it shouldn't matter that much, right? But the second I came back, I got back to playing, where I completed the Tower of Ancient Trickery and the Tower of Deep Sighing in Ring 3. And once I was done with those, I decided to complete a couple of towers in Zone 1 sub-area. Since they're medium towers, they can't take that long, right? All the way from the start. Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking kill my... Please tell me this is the end. Are you fucking kidding me? Finally, dog, I'm not completing this shit on my own. I'm never ever doing this shit again. This tower took me almost half an hour to beat. And how you could see from that clip, I wasn't really at my happiest. Since I've been kinda getting tired of these obbies, which isn't that good. Especially since it's just day 2. So I just gotta keep pushing. This has got to be the most scuffed challenge of all time. And half an hour later, I'm back to complete the rest of Zone 1 sub-area's medium tower, where I realized that they're all long as shit. The Tower of Quantum Rhythm taking me almost half an hour to beat as well. But at least the Tower of Steel and Thunder took me only 15 minutes to beat, which was way nicer than the others. But even if that one was nicer, I was still getting tired of constantly playing this game. Especially after those 2 towers took almost half an hour each. But I just have to keep going. Since... Why am I even doing this? Like, there's no punishment at all, so... Oh, I have an idea. If I'm not able to complete this challenge, then I'll be completing the Tower of Infinity Gauntlet as my first soul-crushing tower, which everybody in the comments has been warning me to not do. So with this slight punishment set in place, I decided to continue with the Tower of Venomous Resonance and the Tower of Slanted Anticipation in Zone 2, and then the Tower of Client Object Frenzy in Zone 3, and then the Steeple of Undersea Voyage in its sub-area. And that meant that I had now every medium tower currently available to me done. But luckily, I only need to beat one more hard tower in order to unlock Ring and Zone 4, since the Citadel of Laptop Splitting counts as the Difficult Plus tower and one of the 3 Hard Plus towers. And with that, I unlocked 2 more medium towers, the Tower of Getting Gnomed in Ring 4 and the Tower of Aquatic Contemplation in Zone 4, which meant that now I could move on to Tower 50. Tower number 50 is the Tower of True Skill. Yet another tower I've made a video on, just that if done right, this one can be completed in about 4 minutes. Now I knew that I definitely wasn't going to beat it in just 4 minutes, since it took me 8 hours previously. But still, since it was already 10 PM, I decided to try and beat the tower before the start of day 3. So I went into the tower and everything was going really smoothly. Like, I was able to beat floor 6's long jump second try smoothly. And since the pods after that are pretty easy, like floor 7 kinda feeling like a filler floor, and then also floor 8, which was the reason why I wanted to get a healing item before trying this tower, but I've beaten it before without one, so it shouldn't be that annoying. And just like that, I'm at floor 9 in just 20 minutes of playing, but it isn't that simple. You see, floor 9 is the hardest floor in the entire tower by a mile. And I already knew that because I failed at it countless times before. But now it is different. I've already beaten this tower now. I won't struggle with it anymore. Well, at least I've landed on floor 7, so... And at this point, I was tired, like it was 10:30 PM and I was playing this game for the past 6 hours. So I decided to do the one thing that I could do at that moment, go to bed. But with that small disappointment, I went on to... Day 3. I I started the day at 11:30 am, where I pretty quickly passed the hard jump at floor 6 and moved on to floor 7, where I failed the exact jump that I did yesterday. Weird. So I got back up there after 5 minutes, where I actually hit that jump, meaning that I could move on to floor 8, which is really easy. So you're probably thinking you made it to floor 9 again, right? Well, let me tell you what happened. While I needed to wait for myself to heal, I decided to stand up and go to the bathroom, since I didn't have healing items anyways. But then, while I was gone, this happened. Yet again, my parents strike by having to unplug the router to do something in the living room, and I wasn't even there to react. I only found out like 15 minutes later, where I came back thinking that everything will be fine, maybe even that this would be a winning run, but when I opened the door I saw it. But it probably wasn't gonna be my winning run anyways, like it'd just be the second attempt at floor 9, I probably would have failed it anyways. And now it's 1 PM and the internet's back, meaning that I'm also back at trying this tower. And it was going pretty well until floor 7, where yet again this specific jump screwed me over. And when I got back up there, I failed it yet again. I'm so sorry for not calling you significant floor 7. I'm so sorry, But after 20 minutes of playing, I got back up there and hit the jump this time, which kind of felt like some straight bullshit, but I beat it, so that's another try at floor 9 at least. And this time, I actually hit the jump that I failed at last time on floor 9. Until... Yep. Holy shit. But at least I caught myself on floor 8, so I got another try. I'm not supposed to struggle like this on this floor, like I've beaten it multiple times at this point. But hey, I'm back now, so let me try it again. The same jump, yet again. And now, if I think about it, this jump and that one jump on floor 7 I kept failing are kind of similar, being like really high jumps, making it kind of seem like luck if you're able to land it or not. But the next time I got to the floor 7 jump, I hit it again, but then slipped on an invisible banana peel or something, because I don't know what the hell happened here. But after that fall, I decided to take a little break, since as you could see from that pathetic fail, it would probably help me a bit. So it's about 1 hour later and I'm back. And after a floor 6 fail, I got to floor 7 and got lucky and hit the jump that time. So I got back to floor 9 and I actually hit the jump this time. And it looked like I was off well, with me even doing a new little skip I found out about to skip this specific jump right here. And from there was only one more jump until I'm at floor 10. Is it? Maybe not. Yet again. History really does repeat itself, huh? And even though I got back up pretty quickly, I fell down even quicker. But I kept playing, growing more impatient and more impatient, like right here, where I died to the kill bricks at floor 8, just because my fat ass couldn't wait a bit for me to heal up a little. And that cycle continued. I get to floor 9 and then instantly fail it again. That was until I hit that jump at floor 9. I kept failing, and I even beat the jump I failed that other time, meaning that I was able to move on to the final floor. Bro, why is everything even so tense right now? It's TOTS floor 10, this is the freest shit ever. How? Genuinely, how did I fail that jump? And this fail made me go crazy, which is why I stopped playing yet again. And I was back about half an hour later, and it was going pretty well. Like, I got to floor 7 and I hit that jump kinda easily, because I kinda wiggled around there, and that made hitting it not really based on luck that much, I guess. But hitting that also meant that I was able to get back to floor 9, where I also kinda developed the strat of flicking my camera really quickly at the end there, which made me hit it pretty consistently as well. But that also meant that I could finally beat this tower. You gotta be kidding me. How? That was the second time I failed floor 10. How and why is this happening? But I can't hold myself back because of this one failure. I need to get going, especially because it already is 4 p.m. And let me remind you guys, I wanted to beat this tower yesterday! But I can't hold myself back thinking about this. I need to get going! And that was when the loops started happening again. Even if I had ways that I knew worked for the jumps I had difficulties with, I still screwed them up! And after that, I quit. Even if it was already late as hell, I couldn't just continue on like this. So about an hour later, I'm back. And I'm moving pretty well, even hitting the floor 7 jump first try this time. And even if I screwed up on floor 9 and then floor 7 as well, I just kept going. But just that this time I remembered what I learned, that whole wiggle thing, and with that technique I was able to consistently hit the floor 7 jump again. Just that now I wasn't gonna just forget about it like I did earlier. But even if that did help me on floor 7, that one floor 9 jump was still pretty hard. But I still was able to hit it. And that means that it's practically a free try at floor 10 for me, which I did fail a few times, but that was just because I wasn't paying enough attention. You see, those other 2 times, I just thought I was gonna win the instant I got to floor 10. I got cocky, leading me to fail, without anything beneath me to catch me. But this time, I realized what I did wrong. I would approach this calmly. Oh my god. Oh my god. Please tell me this is finally it. Yes! It starts finally! Yes! Yippee! As you could hear, I was genuinely overjoyed to finally move on to the hard towers. But then I also realized something. I wanted to have this beat yesterday. It's fucking 6 p.m. 6 goddamn p.m. But even with that slight feeling of disappointment, I had to keep moving, or else it'll just get worse. And like I also mentioned, since I beat the second special tower, I can only play towers that are hard difficulty or harder from now on. And I started with Ring 1, where I completed the Tower of Heck and the Tower of Killjoys. Another thing that you've probably forgotten by now is the heavily desired item, and you're not alone on that one. I legit forgot to buy it myself after the Tower of True Skill, but I did realize after the Tower of Heck and bought it then. Anyways, after Ring 1 was done, I moved on to its sub-area where I completed the Steeple of Uninstalling Roblox. Then I moved on to Ring 2, where I completed the Tower of Big Hole and the Tower of Overcoming Hatred, and then moved on to its sub-area, the Garden of Estro. Can you tell that I like saying that name? In it, I beat the Steeple of Overgrown Ascension, the Steeple of Greenhouse Placidity, the Steeple of Feudal Foliage, and the Steeple of Lost and Quiescence. What the fuck is that word? After that, I went on to Ring 3, where I beat the Tower of Fatness, which was annoying as hell, and then the Tower of Winning Every Run. And then finally I went to Ring 4, in order to complete the Tower of Terrible Mondays and the Tower of Elysium. And at this point it was already 10 PM, which is why I decided to quit the day for now, in order to move on to Day 4. This day was kinda special because I knew that I had to go to a birthday party at like 4 PM, meaning that I didn't really have much time, especially considering that I woke up at like 12 PM, meaning that I only had about 4 hours until the birthday party. FNAF reference, holy. I started the day off by going to Zone 1, where I beat the Tower of Peace and the Tower of Hand Sweating, and then tried completing the Tower of Mirrored Heck, but got so mad while playing it that I invented the word confuselop and then deleted the recording. After that, I didn't go to Zone 1 sub area because I knew that the towers there were pretty long, so I instead went to Zone 2 to beat the Tower of Ground Level Ascension and then into its sub area in order to beat the Tower of Atmospheric Powers and the Tower of Realm Odyssey. But then I noticed something. I should have 68 towers beaten, since I did beat 68 towers. But for some reason the game said that I only had 67 towers beaten, which is kinda weird, but I really didn't have much time to think about it, so I just kept going. And that I did by doing Tower of Waterfall in Zone 3 sub area, and then to Zone 3 itself to complete the Tower of Crushed Cracked Cubes, but failing horrendously, leading me to skip it and move on to the next tower. And all these small, slightly infuriating aspects made me boil up, and you could see that in genuinely every clip of me trying this tower. Like, look at these. Bro, I fucking hate this shit with my life, bro. What the fuck? Genuinely, bro. What the fuck? Bro. What is this shit? I'm not doing this. Fuck you. And after this one, which I yet again didn't complete, it was around 4 PM, meaning that I needed to go now. And when I came back, it was 10:40 PM. And look, alright, this whole challenge just had me constantly playing the stupid game, and this whole birthday party kinda made me feel better. Like, for example, when I came back, I put on the Pickle Rick Trap remix on repeat and then beat the Tower of Cracked Crushed Cubes, one of the towers that I had rage quit previously. And after that, I continued with the Tower of Xanthophobia in the same zone, and then went into its sub area in order to complete the Steeple of Abyssal Upturn, which was the one that I got really angry at before. And at that point, I remembered the fact that I was missing a tower for some reason, so I investigated a bit and found out that when I completed the Tower of Elysium in Ring 4, I actually pressed this button, which makes it like way easier. So I tried doing it normally, but it's one of those really confusing towers without having hitboxes showing, so I decided to just not do it. So I completed the Tower of Fun and Simple Trials in Zone 4, but at this point it was already past midnight, so I decided to go to bed. Day 4. When I woke up, I did some research on which towers are quick and found out about the Tower of 10th Floor challenge in Zone 1 sub area, which I did complete, and it was genuinely probably the most fun tower in this entire video. It just has gimmicks which aren't annoying but rather enhance the gameplay. But completing this tower also meant that I can now move on to Tower 75. Tower numero 75 is the Tower of Eternal Suffering in Ring 2. My hardest completion, which I literally beat for the first time like 2 days before the start of this challenge. And going into this, I knew that I definitely have to complete this one today, or else I won't have enough time for Tower 100 in the end. So I went into the tower and pretty easily did the first 3 floors, since they're a bit easier than the other ones. But when I came to floor 4, I actually beat it first try? That was such a shocker for me, since this part at the end of the floor with these half studs messed me up so many times previously. But then I messed up because I was going a bit too fast, but I simply kept going, which meant that I was able to get to floor 6 this time, and from there I actually made it to floor 8. Wait a goddamn second, pause the footage. Why the hell am I on over 1000 ping? I was legit constantly at least over 500 ping. For comparison, normally I'm at around 100 ping, maybe 50 on a European server, but over 1000 is absurd. Like, bro, look at the delay between me touching the kill brick and me actually taking damage. And I didn't really know if this was because I connected to a server on the ISS or if Lucifer personally invaded my PC. So I restarted my PC to maybe reset it. And after rejoining the game, it seems better. And after a bit I made it back to floor 8. And with a bit I meant 15 minutes of loop failing the first couple of floors. But anyways, I'm at floor 8 now, so... But at least I landed on floor 6, so I got back up pretty easily. And this time I got past the part I failed, to this really scary looking wraparound part, where this happened. And from there everything got worse, to the point where I quit. Why am I quitting? I don't have the time. I'm on day 5, at tower 75. With tower 100 probably taking a whole day. If I don't beat this today, then I'll lose this entire challenge. But on the other hand, if I just continue on like this, then I'll just fall into a loop of failing the first couple of floors over and over and over again. So I took an hour-long break and then got back to it. And it actually kinda worked, since I actually was able to get past floor 4, and from there I got to floor 8 again. And this time I actually got back to that really scary wraparound part again. And this time I actually hit it. And that meant that I got to this part, and here I gotta come clean to you guys. I haven't ever beaten this tower yet, since in reality I failed this part like a day before starting the challenge. So from now on, everything is new for me. Except that it isn't, because I practiced it in a practice game, so I kinda did know what I was doing. But I had to actually be careful, since this next part was an outside section, so I had to lock in. I hate this so much. Nice, I'm back inside. Back inside. Floor 9. And as you could see, I made it to floor 9. And I already knew that floor 9 was kinda easier than the other floors, so I pretty easily made it through. Until the end with this part. Here, you have to hit 2 of these walkarounds in a row. And usually, these would be kinda easy. They're only half a stud after all. But here, I was stressed as hell, since I'm almost at the final floor. And that led to me failing. But at least I landed at the start of floor 9, so I got back to it pretty easily, where I failed again. And even if I landed on floor 9 yet again, I failed this simple ass jump. And seeing me mess it up that many times, I decided to quit the game and switch to this game where you can practice in order to try out this part for a few times. And after hitting it a few times, I decided to practice floor 10 a bit as well. And I did that for about 10 minutes and then moved on to the real thing. But when I came back, I didn't really get far. I did get to floor 6 once, but I did only after 20 minutes of playing. And after failing that run, I decided to take a little break again, since it did kinda help me previously. And when I came back half an hour later, I yet again didn't really have that many great accomplishments. Like, I did get to floor 7, but then failed it, and that was after half an hour of playing. Why? Why was I not able to get back to floor 9? Maybe if I take another break, I might be able to do it. And I am kinda hungry after all. So I took a little break at 6 PM and then I came back at 7:30 PM. Wait a minute. Eating doesn't take 1.5 hours. Where were you? Well, I kinda laid down on my bed and then kinda grabbed my phone and then I kinda opened TikTok. Look, alright, I'm lucky that it only sucked me in for a bit more than an hour, but now that I'm back, it doesn't really matter. But it didn't really go that well. I got to floor 9 once, but failed it again, and that was my only accomplishment in this entire 30-minute long session. And after that one, I kinda started getting this feeling that I won't finish this. Like I said, if I don't finish this tower today, then I've practically lost this challenge. But at this point, a break won't hurt, right? Like, it always helped me previously, so why won't it now? So I took another 1.5 hour break, and when I came back at 9:30 PM, I didn't even get to floor 8 once in these 35 whole minutes of gameplay. But I already know from previous experience that I'm practically better at night, since I'm way too tired to feel the monotony. So it wouldn't really hurt if I took another little break until it's nighttime, right? And when I came back, it was 11:45 PM, practically the next day. But at least I'm tired, which should theoretically make me better. And it did kinda help me, since I got to floor 8 pretty quickly, but failed the scary wraparounds there. And about 18 minutes later, I got back and actually beat it this time around. That meant that I could move on to floor 9, and this time I was prepared. I have to remember what I did here. Yup, that's one. And that's floor 10. That's floor 10, let's go. Floor 10! The final floor! I've spent the whole day waiting for this moment. A try at the final floor. But that doesn't directly mean that I've instantly won, since floor 10 is actually quite a hard challenge. Combined with the stress of finally being at the end of it, it would be way harder than any other final floor I've beaten yet. But I've practiced this, so it shouldn't be that hard. Nice. Oh my god. Nice, that section is done. Holy shit, wait. Wait, let me let this whole pass. How ironic. How goddamn ironic. The same jumps that messed me up on floor 4 just messed me up here. But if I quit now, I'll lose. I cannot quit. So I continued for about an hour. All that without any significant achievement. Like I only got to floor 8 once in that time. And at that point, I really didn't want to keep going. To the point I was considering to quit this challenge entirely. So I quit for the day because, and I quote from my notes, "I'm going to bed, dog. My head is feeling fucking dense from this game." And all that with a total play time for the day of just 5 hours. Way less than the other days. Even the ones where I had internet issues had more playtime. Constantly, I just kept taking breaks, thinking that it might improve my gameplay, but it didn't, so why did I continue doing it? But it's too late now. I gotta go to bed, so that I have even a slight chance. Day 6. Waking up, I instantly got up in order to play, instead of laying in my bed for like an hour watching TikTok like the other days. So I was still tired as hell. Like, listen to me, bruh. Yo, it's next day and I'm back. And it kind of felt like I was just playing in order to play. Like I was making no progress at all. Like I got to floor 7 like twice and that's it. But then, after about 45 minutes, I got this run. First, I reached floor 8 for the first time in the session, which was pretty nice, but then I was also able to move on to floor 9, and from there, I easily got to the walkarounds and actually hit them. That meant that I was at floor 10 now, but it didn't really feel the same. Before, I was really nervous, which led to me failing that jump, but now I don't feel nervous at all. Let me wait for the bolt pass. Now the nerves are kind of starting to come in, but it's too late for the nerves to mess me up now. Oh my god, yes, that's it. I beat this, yes. Wait, I don't want to test if that part is transparent, even though I know it isn't. I'm going to go this way. Yes! Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. Yes. Fuck yes. Toes. Toes, yes. Oh my god. Oh my god. At the end part there, at floor 10, what messed me up previously was the nerve control, right? At those half studs I failed because like I was all nervy and shit because it's floor 10. This time I didn't really feel it. I just really, the only part where I started feeling it was like I said at the like part with the kill break stud jumps. Like at the very end of the floor. Only then I started to like feel my heartbeat and shit. I beat it! I actually beat it! This means there is still a chance that I'm able to do this! But still, I know I said all that about taking breaks, but it'd still be better if I took a little one now. You know, since I'm still kind of shaken up from beating the tower. So I took a little 1.5 hour break and then got to grinding towers. But instead of just doing random towers, during the break I did some research this time, so that now each tower that I'm gonna beat has this little under 20 minutes thing in its wiki page, so that I wouldn't dedicate too much time on a single tower. Oh yeah, also new difficulty. Difficult. So I started in ring 1 with the tower of keyboard heating and then the tower of stress, and then into its sub area in order to beat the tower of immense ire, the steeple of wall punching and the tower of versatility. After that I moved on to the tower of cold hands in ring 2 and then the steeple of various vivariums in its sub area, the garden of Esthel. And I just kept going, beating the tower of slight inconvenience, tower of wall hugging and the tower of lots of damage in ring 3, tower of leaning ledges in ring 4, and then the steeple of resort and stasis, steeple of ruinous abatate in its sub area. And it seemed like I was just on a roll, but then I remembered, tomorrow is Easter! I won't be able to play for most of the day, so I cannot stop grinding now. So I went to ring 5, which I unlocked after beating Toast by the way, and beat the tower of trivial resentment and the tower of rigid success in it. From there I went into its sub area in order to beat the tower of losing our zeal. And at this point it was already getting kinda late, but I couldn't stop now. I will get to tower 100 today. So I went to ring 6, which I unlocked after I beat the tower of stress in order to beat the tower of environmental pain, and then I tried beating the tower of radiant realms, but I just spent too much time messing up since I was really tired of playing this. But it's not like I don't have any alternatives, so then I spent 20 minutes unlocking ring 6's sub area just for a single tower. But at least that tower was kinda quick. But at this point it was 11 PM and I could keep playing to complete the 6 towers left, but I won't. I knew that tomorrow me and my family had to go at around 1 PM, so I'd still have like 2 hours in order to play the towers, which should be enough to beat them. So with that plan I went to bed, starting Alert! Alert! Disaster happened. I woke up at 12 PM, meaning that I only have 1 more hour until I have to go. But I'll still try my best. So I first went into zone 1, where I beat the tower of contractual obligations and then went into its sub area in order to beat the steeple of bad cable management. And then I went to zone 2 to beat the tower of troublesome adventures. But I started looping around the tower, and by that point it was already too late. And while I was gone I just kept thinking about how I probably lose. But I won't lose. I did not want to lose a challenge and then still make a video. Not again at least. So when I came back at 8 PM, I instantly started speedrunning through towers. First finishing the Tower of Troublesome Adventures, and then going on to the Tower of Unearthed Discoveries. But I didn't read the instructions at the start, so I ended up not collecting the crystals that you have to collect throughout the tower. I cannot be losing time like this. Screw this tower, I'm skipping it. I have alternatives anyways. So I went into zone 2 sub area in order to complete the steeple of twisted crystals and then the steeple of magical elements. And by that time it was 10:30 PM. I have 1.5 hours left to beat Tower 100. But if I just simply lock in, then I'll still be able to do it. So let me see what tower number 100 is. The Citadel of Wacky Strategy? It has 25 whole floors. How the hell am I supposed to beat that in 1.5 hours? But there's no harm in trying, right? Look, I'm already on floor 3. I'm not beating this, am I? I am struggling with the 3rd out of 25 floors in this tower, with just an hour left until I fail the challenge. Why did I take all those breaks on day 5? Why did I choose to do this on such a busy week? Why am I this worried? This whole challenge I've been using any excuse possible just to take breaks. Like during the internet outages on day 1 and 2. My internet wasn't actually out for more than half an hour. Hell, it was out for barely 10 minutes. But I still took the time to not play the game. And that was on the first couple of days. Imagine how I felt later on. I was already getting tired of this game beforehand, and playing it for hours over the span of multiple days didn't make it better. That's the reason why the best tower I've played in this entire challenge was the Tower of 10th Floor challenge, because it doesn't feel like the other towers. And I realized that, leading me to quit the game on this account for the final time. So what if I have to beat the Tower of Infinity Gauntlet as my first soul crushing now? I don't care! I'll do it, but I still have one thing to finish. And look, originally I wanted to include this big final edit of me actually beating the Citadel a month later, but even 2 months later, my best run was a floor 13 run. Until I quit and never tried again. Funny. So, thank you for watching this ginormous project of mine, and see you whenever I beat the Tower of Infinity Gauntlet.
I like what you got. Good job.